Hey, let's talk common ground and meeting in a gray area.
This video was created on Treaty 6 land with acknowledgement and appreciation to the Indigenous ancestors here before us. Common ground is any one thing that achieves collective interest, a sense of belonging, or a goal shared by a crowd. It can be the one thing that unites people when nothing else does. What we all have in common is that on some occasion, one way or another, we have all found ourselves in a gray area, a situation or subject that is not always clear or easily understood, an undefined purpose, not objectively right or wrong. A gray area is cloudy, ambiguous, and stuck in the middle of two mutually exclusive categories. In a sense, it just is. Gray symbolizes balance, neutrality, and calm. We find ourselves in the gray area, wavering between polar opposites, in comfort, peace, or reconciliation, only after experiencing the worst of either end of the spectrum.
Although consciously we know gray areas exist, the world is structured on a black or white scale. Gray is apprehensive or uncommitted.
World leaders preach world peace, but is that possible when nations have been conditioned to think in black or white? For centuries, Black and white Americans have lived on the same ground but in completely different countries, divided by money, power, status, and race. Racial inequality in the United States begins before children are even born. Black mothers are more likely to receive late or no prenatal care and face 3 times the risk of pregnancy-related deaths. This is only one of many statistics that show just how discriminatory the land of the free really is.
Since 2013, the Black Lives Matter movement has been monumental in constituting global awareness and advocacy for years' worth of discrimination faced by Black Americans.
This past June 2020, we saw the height of emotion and reach of the movement after George Floyd became one of many Black Americans to wrongfully die at the hands of police. Opposite sides of the spectrum bubbled to a reactionary middle ground. On one side, anti-racism protests and a renewed attention to the problem of deep-rooted systemic racism and the reprehensible deaths of African Americans in the United States in recent years. On the other side, violence, apathy, and contempt to the existence of any issue. Protests were not only a demonstration to fight in solidarity for countless lives lost and hundreds of years of discrimination experienced by Black Americans, but they were an act of global unity, global support, global compassion, and global push to advocate anti-racism law and foster an environment of learning and understanding the freedom we have and otherwise take for granted. Petitions, protests, social media movements, support for Black-owned businesses, and educating oneself on inequality in the United States all became displays of meeting an alliance in the gray area. In the US alone, protest attendance fell somewhere between 15 and 26 million people. From May 29th to July 3rd, there was a total of 4,700 demonstrations nationwide. This averages out to about 140 a day. New legislation has since been enacted and proposed, such as the Breathe Act, that proposes investing in a new vision of public safety, which will allow communities to breathe free.
Globally, 4,446 cities took part in Black Lives Matter protests. People from entirely opposite economic backgrounds, races, nations, even continents met on common ground to advocate for years of discrimination, racial inequality, and motivated racial violence Black Americans have been facing in the United States.
Meeting on common ground is taking a stand to represent lives wrongfully lost and voices that demand to be heard. To meet in the gray area is to take a stand for anti-racism and to create a world that is balanced and neutral to a divisive black and white. Thanks for watching. Bye!